What's good, y'all boys, man? Welcome back to another reaction video, man. Ili dobra pożalowa na очередной тесigi. Story reacting video. You know what I'm saying? Another reaction to Russian history. But today, though, we're gonna be checking out the origins of Russia. Summary on a map. We wanna know where the hell Russia came from. Wait, what was Russia before it became Russia? You know what I'm saying? After these histories videos we watch, it was only right that, you know what I'm saying, it was only right that we gotta check out the origin of Russia. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yay. But look, I ain't gonna be doing no more talking, man. I seen that like y'all enjoy these videos. I'm gonna keep doing them for y'all. I'm gonna keep dropping content. I hope the source of this video is not from Trust Me Bro. So I'm gonna go with the best interest. We don't know much either, so we gonna go ahead and watch this little video, man. But do not forget to hit a like on the vid, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. The goal is 50K subscribers by the end of this year, so hit that subscribe button, help a brother out, you know what I'm saying? And let's get straight to it, man.
During the 9th century, Scandinavia in northern Europe is populated by, among others, the Vikings, excellent sailors who explore in all directions to plunder, but also to develop trade routes.
Why Vikings just sound like people with, like, Vikings always, they have, when you say Vikings to me, you know what I see in my eye, what I imagine are people with like beard, like just white people with beard. You know what I'm saying? That just that's just what I see when you say Vikings.
To explore in all directions, to plunder, but also to develop trade routes. To the south is the powerful Byzantine Empire, with its capital, Constantinople, an important commercial.
I actually learned about the Byzantine Empire in school, and Constantinople is a. I've heard of that name so much. Okay. Very interesting. I guess we're in familiar territory.
Byzantine Empire, with its capital, Constantinople, an important commercial crossroads between East and West. The city is attractive and interests some Vikings, also known as the Varangians. They go up the rivers with their light boats that they can then carry to the sources of the Dnieper and reach the Black Sea. In Constantinople, they sell mainly furs, honey, and slaves captured along the way. The trade route develops rapidly, attracting many Varangian settlers who go founding fortified trading posts. One of them, called Rurik, is said to have founded the Principality of Novgorod, becoming the first of a very long Rurik dynasty.
Yep.
In 880,
this dynasty lasted about, See, this why you watch. History is beautiful. When you learn history, you can talk about history. You know certain stuff. It sounds beautiful coming out your mouth. And while I was reacting to the Russian videos, learning this stuff, I found out about the Ruriks. They found Novgorod, Gorgorod, oxymoron. They found Novgorod, and I think the Ruriks ruled Russia, which they named the Rus. That's what they named Russia at first. I think that's where, Russia. Come on, do the math. We're not dropping no bars, but just do the math here. They ruled Russia for about 700 years, I think. Yeah.
82, his heir Oleg leaves with an army and conquers Smolensk and Kiev. He then founds the Kievan Rus, of which he becomes prince. The new state includes mainly Slavic and Finnish tribes. In the southeast, tensions rise with the rich Khazar kingdom, which controls the important Volga trade route. In 964, Sviatoslav launches a military expedition against it. After subduing the Volga Bulgaria, he destroys Ityl, the Khazar capital, and then confirms his domination by subduing the Bulgarian Empire in the Balkans.
Jeez.
But the Khazar kingdom, weakened, no longer holds back the nomadic.
This man doing damage. Wait a minute. This guy doing
the
damage.
Kievan Rus, of which he becomes first of a very long Rurik dynasty. In 882, his heir Oleg leaves with an army and conquers Smolensk and Kiev. He then founds the Kievan Rus, of which he becomes prince. The new state includes mainly Slavic and Finnish tribes.
Caspian was doing damage.
In the southeast, tensions rise with the rich Khazar kingdom, which controls the important Volga trade route. In 964, Sviatoslav launches a military expedition against it. After subduing the Volga Bulgaria, he destroys Ityl, the Khazar capital, and then confirms his domination by subduing the Bulgarian Empire in the Balkans. But the Khazar kingdom, weakened, no longer holds back the nomadic tribes of Central Asia, which come to settle in the south of the Kievan Rus. Among them are the Pechenegs, who in 972 kill Sviatoslav during an ambush. The Kievan Rus is divided between the three heir sons, and a fratricidal war breaks out. Vladimir, the Prince of Novgorod, flees to Scandinavia, where he forms an army of mercenaries. He returns, seizes Kiev, kills his brother, and takes the title of Grand Prince of Kiev. In the south,
look, man, this is what power will do to people, man. Look, it's been like this. It's not new. It's not just happening. What you see happening right now is been happening. This is why I say the earth, the only way the earth people will get better is if we all die. The earth will be in a better position if we all just die. It's been happening. Our mind's still the same. Our brains still work the same. Money, power, yeah. People being evil. It's been happening, man. Yeah.
The Byzantine Empire, already at war with the Bulgarians, undergoes an insurrection. The emperor asks Vladimir for help and receives 6,000 warriors. In exchange, Vladimir asks for the hand of the emperor's sister. But to get married, he first has to break with paganism and convert to Christianity. After his baptism and wedding, Christianity of the Byzantine Rite becomes the official religion of the Kievan Rus under the authority of the Patriarch of Constantinople. After Vladimir's death, a new fratricidal war breaks out and turns to the advantage of Yaroslav the Wise. During his reign, the territory of the Kievan Rus continues to expand and the Pecheneg threat is eliminated. In 1054, after tensions between Rome and Constantinople, Christianity is split between the Orthodox and Catholic churches. This further widens the gap between the Slavs of the Kievan Rus and the Polish Slavs who had converted to Catholicism. Yaroslav, who has many sons, fears a new fratricidal war after his death. He then decides to divide the Kievan Rus into several principalities that he shares between his sons in whom he has the most confidence. The eldest son gets the most important title of Grand Prince of Kiev. After his death, the cadet will take his place and the princes will change thrones. This new rotating power-sharing agreement will be the root cause for several generations' numerous internal wars that will exhaust and divide the Kievan Rus. On the other hand, the Orthodox religion gains in importance and strengthens the Russian identity. In the big cities, popular assemblies called the Veches and the aristocrats called the Boyars form counterpowers. In Novgorod, they gain influence, and after rejecting their prince, they obtain the independence of the Republic of Novgorod, which mainly lives on the fur trade and will extend its influence northward, encompassing the Finnish tribes. In 1157,
the Novgorod, this is now known as St. Petersburg, right? This is now known as St. Petersburg, and this is now Sweden. If I'm not mistaken, this is now Sweden, and I also think this is where the Baltic Sea. The Baltic Sea was separate Sweden and Novgorod for now. Well, there's a thing right there, but the Baltic Sea is somewhere right here.
Andrei Bogolyubsky becomes the Prince of Vladimir Suzdal. He wants to strengthen and expand his power, causing tensions with Kiev, which he sacks in 1169. The city of Vladimir grows in power, marking a break between the north and the south.
Mongols took over.
In Western Europe, the Catholic religion is more and more on the offensive. The Pope launches the Baltic Crusades, intended to convert the pagan peoples around the Baltic Sea. Germans arrive in Riga and begin their conquest. At the same time, a fourth crusade initially sent to the Holy Land is diverted to Constantinople. The city is besieged and then pillaged. The Byzantine Empire finds itself divided, and Kievan Russia loses an important ally. In the east, the Khan of the Cumans is attacked by unknown knights coming from the Far East, who are called the Mongols. The Russian princes form a coalition to repel this new threat, but they are defeated.
Yeah, the Mongols came, like I said, they couldn't mind their business. They came out all the way from Asia to Russia to Europe, and they actually defeated the Russians, which they set up, and that's when they set up the Tartar yoke, which was ruling. Well, they was there for about 300 years, and I was surprised. But suddenly, they eventually did get defeated though, because bro, this is not your country, bro. What are you doing? You got to go. They eventually did get defeated. But I forgot by who. But they did get defeated though. Which the Mongols had to go back and do what you gotta do. Like stay over there in Asia, bro. You from Asia, stay there.
The Mongols then move north, where they are defeated by the Bulgarians before disappearing. The Russian princes don't know it yet, but this was only a small vanguard on the lookout. The princes were worried more about the Catholic threat in the west, while the state of the Teutonic Order is created. More than 5,000 kilometers away, in Karakorum, the capital of the Mongol Empire, the Ogadai Khan, the heir of Genghis Khan, starts new conquests. An army mainly composed of Tartars, that is, another tribe subjected to the Mongols, is heading for the Russian steppes.
Yep, told y'all. They finna take over them boys.
The Mongol army dominates all its opponents with its powerful cavalry-mounted archers. On their way, they spread terror.
Them boys say, I'm finna spin the block on them boys again. Them boys say, yeah, I'm coming for y'all. Y'all defeated us the first time, but this time I'm coming back. I'm defeated. Who's Bulgar? Who's them boys? Defeated. Take over. Alright, they said we're gonna settle here for a long time and show them boys like we dominated y'all boys and we're gonna stand on the ground. This is our ground. This is what they did. Like, truth to be told, this is what they did.
By razing cities that refuse to submit, the Russian principalities, already divided and weakened, do not resist. Europe trembles as the Mongols enter Poland and Hungary. It is the death of the Ogadai Khan in Karakorum that puts an end to the offensive. The Mongol Empire at this point controls almost all of Asia. The Russian principalities find themselves subjected to the Golden Horde, whose capital is Sarai. Not having the means to install garrisons in all the cities, the Tartars force the Russian princes to go to Sarai to ask for the Jarlig, that is, an authorization to reign. The Tartars thus control the Russian territories from a distance without interfering in domestic politics.
Wow.
Only a tribute is imposed on the principalities.
You hear this? The Tartars do control the Russian territory from a distance without interfering in domestic politics. And them boys had to go to Sarai to get permission in order for them to stay as a reign or to have control or to be a prince. Wow, that's some crazy stuff right here. That's some crazy stuff.
Domestic politics. Only a tribute is imposed on the principalities.
Wow,
For their part, the Russian princes who obtain the Jarlig are assured of being protected by the Tartar army, while rivalries persist. Moreover, the Mongols are tolerant towards all religions. The Orthodox Church is therefore protected and is even exempted from taxes. While on the contrary,
basically, the Mongols have power. Okay, so the Mongols have power over Russia right now, or the Tartars, however you want to put it, which they are the Mongols. They not Okay, they got the Jarlig. They not interfere. They know they have power. They not controlling the people there. It's just like, okay, this is my territory. That's that. We have that. While at the same time they have power. They are. They not like I said, they're not controlling. They took over them. They like, okay, we gonna give y'all enough power, you guys over there can actually control, do whatever you guys want. But just know that I can come and do whatever I want because this is my territory. This is mine. I have power over this. While that's so crazy. While the Mongols have power over y'all, instead of you guys coming together and be like, okay, we need to set up a plan to kick them out, y'all go to war with each other with politics stuff instead of coming together. I understand there's different cities like Kiev, Polotsk, Krakow, Vladimir, Novgorod. I understand it's that, but it's like at the same time, it's some crazy stuff. I'm not saying something that don't sound smart. I'm not the smartest guy on earth. I'm just saying I'm not the smartest guy.
Is therefore protected and is even exempted from taxes, while on the contrary, the European Catholics militarily occupy the submitted cities and convert by force. The Metropolitan of Kiev, the highest Orthodox representative in the country, chooses to move to Vladimir. In the heart of the Russian principalities is the young Muscovy. Quite well insulated from external threats, it attracts and develops rapidly, to the point that in 1325, Moscow becomes the new capital of the Grand Prince and the Metropolitan. In the west, the Lithuanian pagans, who still resist Teutonic state expansion, conquer the territories of the former Kievan Rus. Lithuania dreams of uniting the Russian lands into one state. In 1380, the Grand Prince of Moscow forms a coalition and defeats the Tartar army, but the latter quickly regain control by sacking Moscow. In 1386, the Lithuanian Grand Duke, in order to obtain the hand of the Polish Queen, converts to Catholicism, although the majority of his people are Orthodox. This brings the two countries closer. In the following years, Muscovy, which also dreams of uniting all Russian lands, expands and encompasses its neighbors one by one, while the power of its Grand Prince is strengthened. On the other hand, the Golden Horde begins to decline and to divide. In 1453, Constantinople fell to the Ottomans. The new Grand Prince Ivan III then declares himself the heir of Byzantium and makes Moscow the new guardian of Orthodoxy. The city would later be called the Third Rome. After annexing Novgorod, the army of Ivan III goes to meet the Tartar army. The two armies face each other on the two sides of the Ugra River and then withdraw without a fight. Muscovy is freed from the Tartar yoke and won't pay any more tribute. After the death of Ivan III, his heir Vasily III continues to expand Muscovy and strengthen his power.
I've been deterred. Hey, yo.
When Vasily...
There's the guy, he killed his own son, man. That is crazy, man.
The third dies. His successor, Ivan, is only 3 years old. Ivan's mother then takes the reins of the country, but 5 years later she dies mysteriously. Ivan is convinced that she was murdered by boyars, which makes him suspicious and cruel. His goal will then be to seize all power. In 1547, he's crowned Tsar of all the Russias. The word Tsar comes from the Latin Caesar. All the people are now in unconditional service of Ivan the Terrible. He resumes the conquests and seizes the Muslim Khanates of Kazan and Astrakhan. In the north, after the exploration of the White Sea by English sailors, the Tsar authorizes trade between the two countries. In the east, huge lands are given to the Stroganov family for salt mining and fur trading. In the south, despite numerous deadly raids coming from the Crimean Khanate, Ivan decides not to counterattack because Crimea is a vassal of the powerful Ottoman Empire. Instead, Ivan turns to Livonia in order to gain better access to the Baltic Sea and the European market. After a victorious start, Poland, Lithuania, Sweden, and Denmark-Norway intervene and seize territories. In trouble and increasingly paranoid, Ivan the Terrible sets up a regime of terror, arresting and executing all those he suspects of being against him. He kills the Metropolitan, raises Novgorod, and his madness even leads him to kill his own heir son.
He's the worst ruler I've ever heard of, man. Like, he's the worst ruler I've ever heard of, man. No cap. It's fact, bro. It's facts. And I think that's from the Rurik dynasty.
After a peace treaty with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Ivan the Terrible dies. He failed in Livonia, but he managed to establish an autocratic regime. His other son Fyodor receives the title of Tsar, but he is simple-minded and not suitable for this position. His brother-in-law, Boris Godunov, then assists him and indirectly seizes power. In the east, the Stroganov family finances expeditions led by Cossacks, that is to say, mercenary and warlike explorers in charge of colonizing new territories further east. With no great natural obstacles or resistance, they moved quickly and found outposts along the rivers. In 1591, the last son of Ivan the Terrible, Dmitry Ivanovich, mysteriously dies at the age of 8.
Mysteriously dies at the age of 8. Mysteriously.
Many accuse Boris Godunov of having organized the assassination in order to seize the title of Tsar.
I think that's when one weird guy came out of nowhere and say, hey, yo, hey, I'm the son of dude, you know, I'm a family of them boys. And I think he tried to take over and I think he got killed. Something like that.
7 years later, Fyodor I dies without descendants. The Rurik dynasty extinguishes after 7 centuries of reign.
700 years is crazy.
Boris Godunov is elected Tsar, but he quickly finds himself in trouble from one of the worst famines in the history of the country. To try to increase food production, he reinforces the serfdom of the peasants by forbidding them to leave the lands of their lords. Boris becomes increasingly isolated and unpopular. Suddenly, a young monk named Grigory Atorpiev flees his monastery and goes to Kiev. There, he claims to be Dmitry Ivanovich, the youngest son of Ivan the Terrible, who was supposed to...
This the guy I'm talking about. Like, bro, you can't just do that. It's just like say like in my country, if we had the Tsar, if that's how it used to be, or if that's how it was, be like, hey, somebody died, be like, okay, guess what? I'm like, hey, bro, he used to be my father. You know what I'm saying? He used to take care of me, man. This my father died. I think I should be in power because I ain't inherit all of this, you know? Nah, son, that's not how it works.
...to have died 12 years earlier. The imposter is received by the king of Poland.
They execute that, but he ain't just died. They execute him. You know what I'm saying? You just claiming to be the son of somebody. No DNA testing at the time, bro. How would they know? He just came out of nowhere. Come on now, bro. The Rurik era was already over with. Somebody else already taken the power. Where were you when he died? You know what I'm saying? Come on now, bro.
Poland, to whom he asks for help in seizing the Russian throne, who was supposed to have died 12 years earlier. The imposter is received by the king of Poland, to whom he asks for help in seizing the Russian throne. But the latter, already at war with Protestant Sweden, does not want to put Russia at his back. The imposter promises him Russian lands and the conversion of the country to Catholicism. He then obtains enough money to form a small army, mainly composed of Cossacks. In Russia, he quickly gains the support of the people. In Moscow, Boris Godunov dies suddenly. The false Dmitry enters the city and becomes Tsar. But soon the Boyars accuse him of being too Western-oriented. He is then assassinated, and his ashes are shot from a cannon in the direction of Poland. A new Tsar is placed on the throne.
That's some wild stuff right here. His ashes...
But rebellion breaks out everywhere against him, while a dozen new imposters of all kinds appear. A second false Dmitry makes the village of Tushino at the gates of Moscow his capital. Unable to neutralize him, Moscow makes an alliance with Sweden, which causes Poland to enter the war. The latter dominates, and the Polish prince obtains the title of Tsar, being supported by the Boyars who want to regain a balance. Sweden then turns against Russia, while the whole country rises against the new Tsar. In difficulty, the Poles completely burn Moscow down, and after a siege, are driven out of the city. Delegates of the Russian cities then meet to elect a new Tsar. Mikhail Romanov, from an old boyar family, is chosen. He is the first of a new, very long dynasty, but he inherits a ruined and devastated country. Everything will have to be rebuilt, while the Polish and Swedish armies are still present.
That's hard to do. I need to react to this video. I need to know about that. No cap. I need to watch it. But you know what I really took away from this whole video that actually kind of blew my mind is the impact of religion or religious beliefs that people that the impact that religion had on people back in the days. The constant wars, the impact religion have on wars, choosing sides, what to believe. I absolutely didn't know that religion had such an impact. The Catholic Christianity, I absolutely did not know that. I was not aware of that impact that it had on people. This is just mind blowing. This whole video, that's exactly what I was thinking of. How a country is divided into such states and cities, into such belief, like people having different beliefs. It's crazy. I don't know what to say. Like this thing is like, yo, what? The religious beliefs was like that. The impact is crazy. It still has impact on people today around the world. I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say something. Like I said, when it comes to religious beliefs, I don't really talk about things like this because I don't want to disrespect or say something that might sound disrespectful to somebody. While that's not what I'm trying to say, and I respect, like I said, I respect everybody's belief. You believe in this, good for you. Believe in that, good for you. No disrespect here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but either way, y'all boys, man, I just wanted to do this little video for y'all. I mean, y'all already know I got y'all with the history videos. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep doing them while y'all get the music reaction videos. Also get other content. Also, yeah, leave a like on the video, man. Don't forget the rule. The goal is 50,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next reaction video. Stay out. Don't stay beautiful, man. Click.